Hey guys, I'm here with someone very special today. This is Joe Hollish of the Hollish Brothers. He dropped in to visit us. He's going to tell us a little bit about Miscalculation number 3 and a little bit about the car. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing quite well today. This is exciting, seeing the old babe again.
We're
really good.
We're really glad to have you.
Yeah.
Tell us the start of the car. How'd you guys, I know you were into drag racing, but tell us how the car came to be.
Well, we started, my brother and I we started with a Wezard motorbike. And then we worked our way up. We bought a Ford Model A, a 5-window coupe. And then we chopped and channeled. We just started playing with cars. And we did model airplane engines and stuff. We were just into all kinds of stuff like that. And we just worked our way up. And with the Model A, we chopped and channeled it. And we had a 4-banger, the 4-cylinder Ford engine in it. And we bored it, got racing pistons, got an aluminum head for it, and made it sort of a competition 4-banger out of it. And we ran it on the street for a while. And then we always had ideas for drag racing, and so we bought a Olds engine from Mr. Otto. He owned a speed shop in West Salem, Ohio.
Okay.
He had a Olds engine per se, and he sold it to us for a good price. And we decided to put it in the Model A frame. And rather than putting it up front, we decided to put it back. Yeah. So we put it in back, and then we found some aircraft belly tank scrap at a scrapyard in Akron, and made a front cowl in the front end for the car, and we ended up with a Olds engine in the back, me driving in the front, and all kinds of other stuff. We put we had a Crosley front end on it, stuff like that. Wow. And we managed to scrounge around and find a GMC blower. In fact, in those days, it was quite unusual to have a blower on a race car. It was quite unusual. And we found a guy who came from California in Elyria, Ohio, who had a blower for sale. And he said it was a blower that the bean bandits used. And we bought it, and we decided to put it on the Olds engine.
Okay.
And at that time, there weren't any manifolds available to mount them. And so we built one. So in the shop that I worked in at night, I made cardboard cutouts and stuff like that of manifold out of, I think, 1/2 or 3/8 aluminum plate. Put them on the engine and took it to my welding shop, and they welded it up.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And when we first ran the engine with the blower on it, it backfired, and it blew the blower off the manifold. And so that's mistake number 1. All right, and then we managed to get a better welding shop to do the welding for us, because at that time heavy arc welding was the way to go on that. And we got it set up. And when we first ran it, I think it only took about 3 runs. We were putting about 14 pounds of positive pressure in it. And this was basically a stock Olds engine. We burnt through about 4 pistons. It destroyed the top end of the engine. So we learned something there, and so we we contacted the Johns at that time were prominent piston manufacturer, and we asked them to, send us some blower pistons. And so we got them after a couple months. And, they were different. They had the rings were farther from the crown of the top of the piston.
Okay.
And
that solved your issue?
Yeah, that did that. Yeah, that solved the top end issue. And then when we ran it, after that, I think after 3 or 4 runs, we started throwing rods. And when they went through the bottom of the oil pan, we got another lesson. So it was a long and excruciating period of time getting used to everything like that and getting it running. But finally we did. We finally got it running. It was running pretty reliably. And we took it to, at Akron Drags, we did pretty well. We were running like 130 miles an hour at it.
Nice.
And we did at Magnolia. We ran quite well in Magnolia and different places like that. And then, I don't know, after a couple years, we were real good friends with Jig Shamblin and Dale Hartong, and they had the chassis research frame and front end, and they were running a Chrysler. In fact, there was, I think they were running Howard cams at the time. I think that they were the first unblown dragster to turn out 150.
Wow.
And Jigs and they did real well, but Jigs and Dale had some problems with each other, personal problems. And they split up, and I don't know, Jigs and I got to know each other pretty well, and we decided to build a car for the Nationals. And so Jigs had the frame and the front end, and we had an engine. And so we spent pretty much of a spring and summer, early summer, working to put it together. So I got a Oldsmobile rear end and differential cabless style transmission, and I narrowed the rear end and made the drive. There was not much of a drive shaft. It was a direct hookup to the transmission, and I made all that, put it together, put the engine in, and tried to get it set up for the Nationals.
Now that would have been in '58. You were building the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just stretched on until '59.
Okay.
We had a bunch of people that were really interested in the car when we were building it. We had a lot of visitors coming, and one of the visitors, oddly enough, was named Bubbles, and he was a strange guy, and he found a Bantam. He found a Bantam panel truck body out in the country, and he told us about it. And so we went out and picked it up. We bought it off of this farmer, and then we chopped it, and we took everything weight that had any weight to it out of it, and everything, just had the body. So, and then we mounted it on the chassis, and then we had Ernie Long did a lot of sheet metal work for the fender covers on the inside of the body, fabricated guards for the chain drive, and the air scoop. The chain drive was another thing too. We didn't have any facility for making the belt drives for the Gilmer belts. And so I had to look around in some engineering manuals at work to see what kind of chain or what I could use to drive it. So I found out a double 25 roller chain would take the punishment of the speed of the chain and stuff like that. And put it together, bought a set of Hillborn fuel injectors, got it all together pretty much in time for the Nationals. I think it was a week before we fired it up for the first time, and Jiggs took it out in the street in front in the neighborhood. And Jiggs was always aggressive with the throttle, very aggressive with the throttle. And he floored it. This is a residential neighborhood. And he floored it and just let the rubber burn, for about 100 feet, And with the blower on it, the engine sounds quite a bit different than a normally aspirated. And it caused a lot of excitement in the neighborhood. It seemed to work quite well. And so we decided to take it up to Detroit. And we borrowed a trailer from the Blue Angels Hot Rod Club. Yeah. And loaded it up. And halfway there, we lost a bearing on the trailer and had to repair it. And so that took about 3 hours or something getting the parts and stuff like that. Yeah. We took it up to Detroit, and we were there the day before you sign in. And we were driving around looking for a hotel. For some reason, when we had to take the car off the trailer to change a bearing. And when we put the car back on the trailer, we forgot to tie it down. And so when we were going through Detroit City, Jiggs got on it a little bit too aggressively, and the car fell off and launched off the back of the trailer is what it did.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Any major damage?
No damage. I think maybe it's a little bit of the push bar. But that was it. It was no damage at all. Well, no visible damage. So we pushed it back on. Not only that, it was kind of nice. The next day, I think we had we got a hotel and slept all night and got up in the morning for inspection. And I always dreaded NHRA inspections because they always nitpick something. They always found something. And I know we had a few things. We had a few things were generally questionable. In fact, one of the tricks that Dale and Jiggs worked out before, when you got a chassis research frame, it was made out of very thin tubing. I don't know if it's even more than the 16th wall. It was more like exhaust pipe, basically. And then he made, Scotty Penn was a guy that ran, there's a story about him too, but he was the guy that owned chassis research. And he had the roll bars were the same tubing, the lightweight tubing. And he was I think he might have been an engineer or something, but he said you don't need the thick wall tubing that the NHRA specified. They specified 1/8 inch wall for tubing. And so Dale figured out that NHRA had you drill holes in the tubing in the tubing of the roll bar, so they could see how thick it was, so they could measure the thickness.
Mhm.
And so Dale would heat up the tubing in the on the roll bar, and then pound it in with the hammer, and then weld it. weld it out, grind it off, drill a hole through it, and then it would be in. And what the inspector would see would be the 1/8 inch wall where the weld was. It said it worked. It worked real well. It fooled the inspectors, and we might have thought that they might catch us on that, and then I don't know. They had some other requirements about fire extinguishers that we were sort of questionable about. But that wasn't a problem. And what was nice, the main inspector that inspected our car, he was actually driving down the road or the street in Detroit when we lost a car off the back of the trailer, and he was kind of I don't know. It was sort of a thing that was a talking point that he felt sorry for us, I guess, or something like that, and he gave us a real clean bill of health, so we were happy about it.
That's awesome.
And then let's see, racing. I don't know. We got there, and Jigs took it through a few times. Got fairly good speeds. We got 141, 140, something like that, 139. We were pretty pleased with that. Well, the first time he came up to the line, there was an NHRA official there that said that you can't run this car because the blower hampered your visibility. And that, I don't know, we didn't like it. Jig started howling, and we had a big powwow with the people, and Jigs actually convinced him that he could drive it, because he could all you could see was the left hand edge of the track. That's all you could see. But he did okay, and in fact, he was so good. He would, anytime he went to a drag race, he would go. In those days when you had the flagman, he would go and watch the flagman. He would watch the flagman for about 15 or 20 minutes, and he would find out what quirks the flagman had, so that he could get a good jump on the line. And in fact, the guys from California, like Jack Chrisman and those guys, came to me after and said that they thought Jigs was about the best driver off the line that they had ever seen. He could guess when the flagman was ready to pull a flag without I don't know, red lighting. It's not. It's not. And you did real well. We managed to beat whatever cars that were in our class, and then you came to the elimination, or what do you call it?
Top eliminator.
The eliminators, yeah. So we started racing a lot of cars. So we seemed to run about 8 or 9 times against some, car. Well, they were not, you run against gassers and stuff like that. And it wasn't much of a race, but still every time you ran, you were counting down the life of your engine and other equipment. And so we seemed to run about 9 times, while the people from California, like Chrisman and There were a few other cars that the NHRA wanted to win, actually. Well, they didn't have to run as many times. They ran, I think Christmas only ran about three runs, while we ran about 8 or 9 or something like that. Yeah. And so Jizz got kind of mad about that. They started to get us to run against, I think there were 3 cars left, or 3 or 4 cars, I forget. And they wanted us to run against someone, and then Christmas would not have to run. We didn't like that. We didn't like that. And so what happened that evening, that afternoon, there was kind of like an argument was going on. And when the argument was settled, or almost settled, it was getting down in the evening, and they wanted to, that was the day that they promised to have a top eliminator at the drags. And Jigs told them that I can't run because it's getting dark and I can't see. and that made the NHRA people not too happy. And but that was a safety concern, and so they had to accommodate him. And so the next day they were going to have the top eliminator. And so Chrisman ran Chrisman ran against Singer and Miller. And Singer and Miller beat Chrisman. And then it was us. We were, I don't know, we had argued and everything. We were the car left for top eliminator against Miller and Singer. We had to run. I know we were watching and just dying. We didn't expect a damn thing, out of the car. And here we are. We were joking about, winning that pickup truck and stuff like that they had given out at that time. And I was almost crapping my pants, just watching that run. But the run went. Jigs did a good job until the clutch, disintegrated. But on the actual flag waving bit, the flagman gave the red flag. The red flag. So in those days, if you had a red flag, you'd just run again. See, now at times when you have a red flag, you're out. So there was a lot of dispute about, being cheated and stuff like that. But actually, we did pretty doggone good compared to what we had expected to. So I was real happy. But I see on the there was a movie that the NHRA had put out on it was a Race Master or something like that. It was a story about them pulling their car from California out to Detroit. And it showed the different runs. It showed that final run, and it indeed showed a red flag. There was some controversy over that, but it was a red flag. So I don't know. We said, "Well, geez, we should have won that pickup truck." But I don't know. I don't know. And then there was some discussion in the pits before the run, and we had heard rumors that Singer Miller, with that big that blown Lincoln engine that they had in their car, was running on only 7 cylinders, and there was something bad it was about to happen with them. So we, I don't know, we had some hope, but it didn't work out that way. But Singer and Miller went back to Texas. They got their pickup truck and all good stuff.
Wow, that's a pretty cool story.
Oh.
Any what did you guys do after 59 with the car? Anything?
No, we went up to Montgomery, New York, ran up there. I had to get a new block, the way the Olds is built, that when you destroy the clutch, it tears the bell, the block housing. Went up to Montgomery, New York. I don't know, it was a big thing where NASCAR was really interested in getting involved in drag racing at that time. And they sponsored meet at Montgomery, and they had our funds. We went up there with Art, and then Garlitz was there.
Okay.
And then they would advertise us too. So
Nice.
we went up there and turned a few good times, just individual runs. And we started blowing head gaskets. And so we decided to pack it in. And Jiggs was a competitor of competitors. And when we blew the head gaskets, you could tell, and he just wanted to run anyhow. Take it, smoke the tires. Hell was damage due to the engine or something like that, And that really made my brother madder than hell, at Jiggs, And Butch was pounding on Jiggs' helmet and stuff. Get the hell out of the car. So that sort of ruined the partnership, I think, right there.
Yeah.
And so we I don't know, I forget. We went to in Illinois. There was a drag strip. We took it up there after that, and then that was the end of it.
Well, Joe, I really appreciate you stopping by and telling us a few stories about the car, man. It was awesome to hear. We have to put these things together, little bits and pieces that we hear over time, just so to get somebody in here that was around with the car when it was built, man. It's a pleasure. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's cool too, because I hear a lot of different stories, about things that we had done that we had not done.
Tails get pretty long over here.
And even Ernie Long, who was a real good friend of ours, and who helped us, with the car and stuff like that. He even bought into a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
I think this thing about Arfon's welding stuff was no way. We knew them. We visited their shop occasionally, and that was about the only. We never had anything to do mechanical or anything like that with them. They were good guys. Well, Art was good. Walt was sort of weird.
There's some rivalry there.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, thank you very much, man.
Sure.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was I wish I could be more articulate.
Oh, no, it was great, man. It was great. We appreciate it, so thank you.
You did. You're welcome.
The very fast Hollish Brothers competition coupe, with Jiggs Shamblin from Ohio taking a terrific lead.
Hey, this is John. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, comment. If you got anything you want to see, let us know. We plan on keeping updates on what we're building. We tend to move pretty quick and get things done. In addition, we'll go through the museum downstairs and we'll show everybody what we got going, and we'll keep you posted.
Stick with us. We always have something cool going on.